WWE has done it again with LA Knight. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what they did, because after covering pro wrestling professionally for the last 10 years for some of the biggest wrestling news sites out there, I have seen a lot come and go in WWE. I've seen a lot of people come and go in WWE, and LA Knight's a special guy. And he has been since making his WWE debut just a few short years ago in NXT. And oh, what a journey LA Knight has been on, considering that we have gone from his TNA days as Eli Drake, a similar gimmick, no doubt, that he did in NXT to the main roster. Well, it goes back to WWE. And in NXT, he did a lot of good things. He was a babyface. He was a heel. I still, to this day, have fond memories of his feud with Cameron Grimes, where they brought back Ted DiBiase. They brought back the $1 Million belt. I loved that storyline. That was one of the highlights of the pandemic era, and really right before the NXT 2.0 era began, in kind of the dying days of the black and gold brand for NXT. Now, LA Knight and what he's been able to do on the main roster has been interesting. But just like in anything in life, there's been ups and there's been downs. There have been triumphs, and then there has been tragedies. And I would classify his run as Max Dupree as a tragedy. He wasted a few months of his life and his career on a character that never had any legs, that was never going to work, and that was pretty god-awful. And he has spoken pretty publicly about how he did not like the character, he did not agree with the direction, but of course, this was during a time in which Vince McMahon was still in charge of WWE Creative. And he tried to make LA Knight, who is a pretty good wrestler and is a heck of a promo and a talker, into a manager. And you know, it goes back to a few years ago where they thought, when Adam Cole was trying to decide whether he was going to stay with WWE or go to AEW, and Vince McMahon wanted to make him a manager. And it's like, what are we doing? Well, they had to do that. And it was Triple H who really saved LA Knight's career in that sense. Now, I have been a big supporter of LA Knight for the last few years, and I also was someone who criticized LA Knight and criticized WWE. And there's been a lot of people out there who are split on LA Knight. You are either a LA Knight supporter or you are a hater. You think he is overrated or you think he is appreciated, right? It's pretty clear-cut, and it's pretty controversial when it comes to LA Knight. Now, in 2023, it was the year of LA Knight. He rose to popularity. The fans pushed for WWE to use him in a prominent role after missing WrestleMania, after finishing up what was a pretty bad program with Bray Wyatt that resulted in a Mountain Dew Lights Out match at Royal Rumble. And so they built him up very well. They had him team with John Cena. They put him in a feud with The Miz. And then he fell short to Roman Reigns in Saudi Arabia. And at the time, I thought that they dropped the ball with him. They put him in a position in which he did not need to be in, not necessarily because I didn't think he should be in a title program, but in a situation in which he was never going to beat Roman Reigns, and I thought that it hurt him way more than it helped him. And so, despite the fact that, you know, he lost at the Royal Rumble, he was taken out in the Elimination Chamber, I was a little down on LA Knight, and I think a lot of people were as well. But he picked up a win over AJ Styles at WrestleMania, and now he's into a program with Logan Paul for the United States Championship, and that leads us to today's video. I think what WWE and LA Knight have done with his character in the last few months, especially consistently using him on television, consistently putting him over, consistently making him a bigger part of the show. The fact that The Rock is no longer around and we don't have to hear these freaking comparisons that he is trying to be The Rock. In addition to the work that he is doing with Logan Paul for the United States title, it made me believe in LA Knight. LA Knight, once again, can be a world champion in my eyes. WWE did it. They resurrected, they revived this man's career and they made me believe again. And I think they've made a lot of other fans out there believe in LA Knight once again, to the point where you look at the landscape and it's like, could he be a guy that dethrones Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes one day? Maybe. Could he go and perhaps win the Royal Rumble? Because this is the layout that I see it being, which is I think he's going to beat, and I think he has to beat, Logan Paul. I've done a recent video on that about how I believe you have to have Logan Paul drop the U.S. title, a guy who is a part-timer, to LA Knight. LA Knight needs to get a big win in a big match, something that he has lacked in the past. Get him a piece of hardware and give him a piece of gold. Let him hold it. We're only in June, y'all. Then maybe you go on and you have him win the Royal Rumble, because I think Jey Uso is going to walk out with the Money in the Bank this year. So he doesn't necessarily need that to get a big title shot or anything like that. So if WWE can continue to book LA Knight in the way that they have done so, I think he's going to be in a great spot. I think he's in a great spot right now, and I think with the continuation of a push, a win over Logan Paul, a reign as the United States champion heading into this summer, I think LA Knight could have a great, second year in what was, I thought, 2023 being his rookie year of really a consistent push with everyone on board, the fans on board, management on board, LA Knight on board, everybody on board. I think it's going to be very interesting. I don't have anything against Logan Paul. I've actually think Logan Paul has done a tremendous job throughout his WWE career. If you look at him coming in at WrestleMania a few years ago, at, WrestleMania 36? No, 37. WrestleMania 37 in 2021, him getting involved in Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. You look at what he's been able to do is pretty interesting. A guy that has no wrestling background, a guy that is a YouTuber, a boxer, podcaster, now pro wrestler. He's had one of the most incredible runs for a part-time guy that's really a celebrity in recent memory. If you look at his ability, like, we all knew he had charisma, and we all knew that he had the talking skills, but would he have the in-ring ability? The guy looks the part, acts the part. If he wasn't a big name outside of WB, obviously, he would not get the opportunities that he does. But considering that he does have a big name and he's been able to adapt as well as he has to the WWE system, product, I think it has only given me more respect for Logan Paul and what he's been able to do in WWE. So, with that being said, I'm going to get out of here, y'all. Thank y'all for watching. Make sure to hit that notification bell so you are notified every single time we upload new wrestling content here to the channel. And I will see y'all in the next